Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be talking about why you should absolutely not start a diet in 2020. It is the new year, which means unfortunately we are being extra bombarded with messages of why we should lose weight, how to lose weight, here's the newest diet trend fad that is going to, make you be this fitter, healthier, smaller you in 2020. Well, I am all for the pursuit of a healthy lifestyle and feeling our best with some balance, of course. Unfortunately, most people are pursuing a healthy lifestyle, but they're really not. They're actually pursuing weight loss, a smaller body, a lower number on the scale, or maybe they're even, going on a extreme diet, meaning they're cutting out a lot of certain foods or adding in a ton of certain foods so that they can lose weight. So in this video, I am going to share with you guys the facts and talk about why this is honestly a really dumb plan and it's gonna be a waste of your time and it's not gonna add any value to your life. Also, if you're new around here, welcome. My name is Becca. I'm a registered dietitian. I share lots of information here on my channel about nutrition and wellness and intuitive eating and balanced living and all of that kind of stuff. I am super passionate about kind of pushing back against the diet culture that we so often find ourselves literally marinating in all the time. So let's just dive right on in. So first, let's talk a little bit about biology. So our bodies have what is called a set point weight, which means our bodies are programmed to have this weight range that is ideal and comfortable for our specific body. Now, this happy range differs across all people. No, we don't all have the same range that is healthy. Everybody is different. We all have different genetics. We come from different backgrounds. We have different bodies, and therefore we have different happy weight ranges. But here's the thing, you guys, the diet culture messaging doesn't talk about that. They talk about the fact, they show images of these ideal bodies, of this ideal type, but most people aren't actually going to naturally match up to that ideal type. So we end up spending so much time and so much energy and so much money, which is exactly what the diet industry wants. We put all of this effort into trying to fight against what our bodies are naturally meant to be. We try different diets, we try different exercise regimes, we try different weight loss techniques, we try everything to try and whittle our bodies down or change our natural body composition pretty extremely into something that we're just really not, most of the time, just not naturally meant to attain. Okay, so the fact that so many people spend so much time and energy and money in this kind of losing battle, it's not their fault at all. We are bombarded all day, every day on commercials, in magazines, people talking, in your hometown or office or whatever. We are always bombarded with messages of dieting, that our bodies need to be smaller in order to be healthy. We're also just bombarded with images of these ideal, beautiful bodies that most, women and, also men don't really match up to, and that can be really, really tough mentally because you feel like you're not beautiful because you don't look like these girls in the magazines or on TV or on Instagram or whatever. Another thing that we're often bombarded with, unfortunately, are the messages that losing X amount of weight or starting this new program, whether it's a diet program or a fitness program or whatever. Basically, all of these things are promising that if you do this, you'll be happy. If you do this and then, it causes you to lose X amount of weight, you're gonna be happy then. But that is not how it works. If you are not happy with your body, how it is, going on something that's extreme, that is really difficult to get through and you're literally fighting your body, even if you get through to the other side, probably not gonna be any happier. And here's why. So we know from research that about 95% or so of diets are not attainable in the long term. Long term, they fail 95% of the time, so almost all of the time. But now, of course, there is that 5% that have success and they're able to stay on the diet long term. But unfortunately, what research has found and uncovered is that small group of people that have success with their diet, in order to maintain that success, they've had to develop disordered eating patterns in order to maintain that same diet, because going on a weight loss diet, you guys, restricting calories, restricting your body, giving it less energy that it actually needs to function, it's going to fight back because that's biology. That is our survival instincts kicking in. If we're not eating enough food, guess what? You're gonna be craving everything left and right. All you're gonna be thinking about is food, because that is your survival brain going, whoa, hello, we need to eat more food, or, you know, something's gonna happen, we're gonna die, we're not getting enough energy. Now, of course, your survival animal brain does not realize, your primal brain does not realize that you're just on XYZ diet and, you know, this might not last forever, but right now I'm just trying to lose 5 pounds. Your brain does not know that. It thinks everything is, you know, real time, long term. It doesn't know all of the intricacies of diet culture and some new plan that you started. So you will, in order to have success long term, you almost have to develop unhealthy behaviors in order to keep fighting your body long term. So now we know about 95% fail and then 5% succeed. But you know what? All of those people in those group, whether they fail or succeed, in the end, those people are probably ending up unhappy because they failed and they didn't get what they were promised, and they feel like, you know, they don't have the willpower to look like so-and-so, and that makes them unhappy. Or, you know, now they've succeeded and they've got this dream body or whatever, but now have all these disordered eating behaviors, and they can't go out to eat and enjoy themselves, or they have to go to the gym every day, even though their body is like so exhausted and can't keep up and their hormones are out of whack. These aren't necessarily happy, healthy people either. So a little more biology. All of our bodies, like I said in the very beginning of this video, they are different. And just like our eye color and our natural hair color, this is not my natural hair color, when we are born, we have, all of these things are determined for us, how tall we're going to be, you know, our general weight range. It is pre-programmed, you guys. Now, of course, you can manipulate things to go higher than your desired body's weight range. You can also manipulate things to go lower, but all bodies are pre-programmed with this set point range. And here's the thing, this is where the problem comes in. Most of the ideal bodies that we really idolize are very, well, actually, there's different idealizations of what bodies that are beautiful, but most of the time they are on the extreme end, whether they're extremely curvy, right, or they're extremely thin and toned or whatever. Most people are not, like I said, not going to naturally fall into these types of bodies, so it's going to take, for most, probably a lot of work and effort and time and energy spent to morph your body into something that it's not naturally programmed to be. Now, this doesn't mean that we shouldn't exercise and take care of ourselves and be physically active so that we can be fit. I'm more talking about manipulating the, you know, amount of calories that we need, or, you know, exercising to the point where it's too much for our bodies to handle in order to reach some kind of perfect ideal body type that we have in our head. I will always encourage, and I would hope that everyone else will always encourage, healthy behaviors that are truly about health and not so much about body image, but that's not really what I'm talking about here. So what ends up happening? People see this ideal, they have this ideal in their mind that I am going to look like this diet, and these people running this diet say that I can do it, I've got this, I've got the tools, I've got the plan, I just need to follow it and give it my all, and that will be mine. Now, like I said, your body is going to start fighting against you. For example, let's talk about a weight loss diet. If you start restricting your calories and you're not actually bringing in enough calories, not only is your metabolism going to go down, your body is going to start actively fighting against you. So why are calorie restrictive diets so hard? You know, you go on this diet and you're like, I can't have that, I can't have that, I can't have that, I can only eat this amount. All of a sudden you start dreaming about pizza and ice cream and all these things you want to eat. It's not necessarily just because they're restricted and you can't have them. Now, that is a huge part of it, but also your body is literally going to start dreaming and craving these high calorie foods because it needs more calories. It's going to start fighting against you. It is not that you don't have enough willpower, that you can't stay on XYZ diet. That is literally your body saying, we can't do this anymore. We've got to survive. We've got to stay alive. So therefore, I'm going to do everything I can to try and get you to eat more. Also, just another thing I want to add, now that it's January, I see a lot of people, you know, on social media, online, whatever, who are jumping on different diets bandwagon. Now, I saw a photo recently of a food haul of someone who was on a specific very popular diet. They were just starting and they were really excited, and it's like, oh, you can't fault them for that, because they're believing these promises and they're excited about this healthier lifestyle when really they're just set up to fail, because that's how the diet companies continue to make money. It's why they make billions of dollars, because they're set up to fail so that you have to keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Madness. But I digress. So this food haul showed a bunch of different foods, and you guys, let me tell you, they were all crap foods. I can't even imagine. I mean, I can picture the length of the ingredient list, you know, sugar-free stuff and low calorie and all of this. Everything was processed, packaged food. And I'm here just sitting there thinking, this is in the name of health? No, this is so backwards. Our bodies are not designed to run off of packaged food. Now, I am not, you know, a purist when it comes to food. I do like to eat whole, real foods most of the time, because that is what fuels my body. Hello, nutrition. But it's also what just makes me feel my best. But I'm not against, you know, some packaged food and processed food. Like, I'm not a perfect eater. But to look at this huge haul that someone is now, like, these are like some of their diet staples, and they're really excited about it. And I'm just like, the brainwashing is so real that they think that this is like their healthy lifestyle, when they literally just brought a ton of crap food that is so devoid of nutrients and filled with fillers and chemicals and stabilizers and all of these things to make this fake food taste like the real thing. That is not healthy, you guys. That's not health. Now, I want to pose a question to you. What if this year, instead of getting on the hamster wheel of some diet, maybe it's one that you've tried in the past and you're gonna do it again, or maybe it's a new one that's new and exciting and it's like, oh, this is like a breath of fresh air. I couldn't do that one, it was too hard, but this looks like it's something I can do. Again, they're all set up so that you fail, so that you start again. So what if, instead of putting all of that time and all of that energy and all of that effort into following this certain diet plan to get some result at the end, hopefully, probably not, what if instead of all of that, what if you put all of that time, all of that energy, all of that effort instead into learning your own body? Not only how to eat so that you feel good, but understanding your hunger cues and your fullness cues, and learning how to balance eating really well so that you feel good, but also enjoying all the delicious foods that are out there in moderation, to that what feels good to you, what feels doable to you, where you feel like you're enjoying but you're not overindulging to where you feel sick. What if you put all of that energy into finding that balance? And then, as a second step, because it takes a lot of energy and time to go on a diet, so you'll have plenty left over. What if you then took all of that time and energy and effort and turned that inwards and figured out how to love and accept your body at that healthy state? Because once you learn how to do that, you guys, that is your healthy body. Now, if you're feeling really good and your body is working the way that it's supposed to, and you're able to enjoy, you know, going out to eat or enjoy certain treats or whatever in moderation, and have it not throw you into a tailspin mentally, if you can do all of that while feeling good and being active and whatever, that right there, that is your healthy body. Now, the physical appearance on the outside might not match up to the ideal body you had in your mind. Most likely it's probably not at all. But what if instead of being upset about that, we took that energy and turned it into, I am going to accept this body because this is my true healthy self. What if you focus your attention on that without any thought to physical appearance? What would that feel like? Now, of course, I'm talking a lot about weight loss diets here, but there are also a lot of other diets out there that are focused on cutting out a lot of certain food groups, not necessarily to lose weight, just because, you know, they deem them as healthy. But just like, you know, I said, everybody is different. There is something called epigenetics, which I could do a whole video on that, and I'm not gonna go into it, but you should take a second right after this video to Google it so you can see what I'm talking about. But that is basically, we all are going to react differently to different foods. We are going to require more of certain foods than other people to get the nutrients that we need, because of the way that we absorb and digest and transport and utilize and all of that stuff. So here's the thing, I am not against experimenting with food and maybe lessening some things, trying more of other things, you know, to get to the point where you actually truly feel good, you feel energized, your digestion is on point for the most part, balanced. I am so not against that, because like I said, everybody is different and everyone is going to feel better when they eat a certain way. But I don't want people to get caught up in this trap of like this certain diet that cuts out X, Y, and Z. This person told me that this is the healthiest way to eat, so I'm gonna eat that way. You can try it, but if it doesn't make you feel good, you need to move on, okay? Don't get so attached to these diets just like the weight loss diets. They can be this really vicious cycle that mess with your head just as much. Now, I do want to note here that there are certain diets that people have to go on for medical reasons. For example, a celiac cannot eat gluten. Not only is it going to make them feel terrible, but it's going to completely wipe out all of the villi in their GI tract, damage it a lot. So obviously in that situation, if you're celiac, you can't be eating anything that has gluten in it. That is not in your best interest. That is not, a way for you to be your healthiest self. So that is definitely a slightly different circumstance. So if you were prescribed a certain diet, like if you have diabetes or like I said, celiac, it is important that you adhere to that. But I am talking more about these diets that just claim certain things to be healthy and claim other things to be unhealthy and tell you to stop eating them, even though they know nothing about your body, your specific genes, your specific nutritional status. Everyone needs to find what works for them personally. We spend so much time trying to fight our bodies, and not only fight them, but outsmart them. We're given these meal plans and these specific calorie amounts, and we're given these outside tools from experts, but if it doesn't match up with what your body needs, it's not going to work. Our bodies are so smart, you guys. We cannot outsmart them. They are intricate biological machines, and they are built for survival. So if you are not eating enough, not only is your mind is going to kind of backfire, and you're going to be thinking about food constantly, and you're going to be craving all of these calorie-rich foods, or just food in general, really, because your body needs to eat. But also, if you're not eating enough, if you're not bringing enough energy in, guess what your body's going to do? It's not going to go, oh, well, we're not getting enough, so we're just going to lose a bunch of weight. It's not that simple. What's gonna happen is your body is actually going to lower your metabolism. Your metabolism is basically just the energy that you're burning at a constant, because you're pumping blood, you're breathing, you are moving your muscles, you're doing all of these things at a baseline, you're digesting food, you're doing all of these things all of the time. Everything in your body is working almost all the time. So you always have this baseline level of energy burning. But when you're not bringing enough food, your body will go, whoa, 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 okay, we are not eating enough, so we need to start conserving, so let's go ahead and lower that metabolism. So you're just going to burn off less energy at a baseline. So that's one way you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot with this restrictive diet. But on top of that, which is even worse and way worse in the long term, because if you start eating normally again, your metabolism should recover. However, when you are calorie restricted, your body is going to start turning to its own internal stores for energy. So it will reach for fat stores, which, yay, we're gonna burn fat. But also, it doesn't discriminate, it just wants energy. It's also going to reach for your muscle stores and take that protein and turn it into energy your body can use. Now, this is bad because your muscle, your lean mass all throughout your body is a huge driver of your metabolism. So if you're not eating enough, your metabolism is going to drop in the short term. But if you're really not eating enough and you start to wear away at your muscle stores, your metabolism is going to drop potentially even more, but it's going to stay lower in the long term than when it'll be lower than when you even started this whole silly diet. This is one of the reasons that men typically always have faster metabolisms than women, because they have more lean mass. We have more fat, not more fat, but in comparison, we have more fat stores, because we gotta carry the babies and we gotta make milk for those babies. So we need the fat. They don't necessarily need that. They have more muscle mass, and therefore they have higher metabolisms. So your body is smarter than you. You cannot outsmart it. It might work for a little while, but it will not work in the long term. And a lot of times people will hit these plateaus where they stop losing weight, and that is literally, even if you're doing all the same things, you might even be eating less and working out harder, and your body is just straight up plateauing, because that is your body's way of saying, we cannot lose any more weight. I will do whatever it takes to maintain this weight, because we are in a major danger zone, and we are at risk for no longer being alive, because again, your body doesn't know, or your mind does not know about your diet. It just thinks this is happening, this is life, it's never gonna stop. So not only is it going to try and use its own reserves and all of that to maintain your weight, but it's gonna start shutting down body systems that aren't totally necessary. For example, if you're a woman, you could lose your period. This is called hypothalamic amenorrhea, and it's really, unfortunately, very common. So your body is going to literally start turning off certain body systems that aren't absolutely necessary for survival. Do we need to be able to make a baby to survive? No, not necessarily. Maybe for the world to survive, but so it will actually start literally turning off certain body systems because you are not feeding it enough and you are not nourished. So, are you gonna start a diet in 2020? I hope your answer is no. I hope that you will instead take all that energy to learn your own body cues, to learn what makes you feel good, to maybe experiment with food to try and figure out what works for you, but I hope that you do it in a way that is balanced and that, you know, is focused on whole food, but also on enjoying all the foods. And I hope you will then do the hard work that is accepting that body, that happy, healthy body that is yours, that is amazing, that does so much for you. Maybe that means you'll have a soft tummy, maybe that means your thighs will touch, maybe that means you'll have arm jiggle. None of these things are bad. These are parts of a normal body. Now that might not be everyone's normal. Just because you don't have a soft tummy and arms that jiggle and thighs that touch doesn't mean you're unhealthy, but everyone's body is going to be different. And I hope that we can all learn to accept our bodies for what they are and get them to their happiest and healthiest and just enjoy life, because in reality, how we look on the outside is really such a small facet of life. And unfortunately, a lot of the time we give up so many other amazing facets of life that we could be enjoying. We sacrifice those in order to have this perfect outer appearance. And also, let's just be real here, one of those other main, huge, giant, important facets of life is how we feel, not just physically, but also mentally. Don't give that up just to have some certain fleeting physical appearance. Okay, you guys, that is all I have for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. If you have enjoyed hearing about this topic, I have an entire playlist here on my channel about intuitive eating and how to stop dieting for good, make peace with your body, make peace with food, all of those things. I will also leave a couple really good book recommendations down below that I would recommend you guys read if you want to just learn more about this topic in general. But thank you so much for watching. That is all I have for today. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!